Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ostiarius, but you can call me Osti, and welcome back for more The Great Ace Attorney. We are gonna go right back into it. This one. We are back at the court after a small break. So the last thing that happened was the summation examination. And now, let us resume proceedings. My controller. Witness, you will now retake the stand. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov. I did. Mr. and Mr. Shulkin. Believe me. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windbay. Well, it was battle and soon as warranted. It was, Nurse, it was. Didn't even have the time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. But yeah, I still wanted to see if we have photos from before, because I want to see if the photo of the cat is there. It was, Nurse, it was. Didn't even have the time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers, or believe me, on the night in question, you riffled to the items on the victim counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How did you figure that out? You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth. Each lie then passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. You made a deal with them beforehand, you fucking bad. I have not forgotten that. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. I thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov, we hear you. We'll blab, we speak, we pitch. Illegal entry, the whole truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't riffled for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Gloomy, it didn't all have to give a fright. We were thinking the shooter come out of the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scrapped it straight into him in the back. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admitted defense accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windbane countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tied it up, yeah. You noticed something? Or it's just because they're lying. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbroker under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you said, we hardly sound rough at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't it make us sound a bit more cutthroat? Can't he make us? It can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up at the wind bank that night. There is more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Alright, we did knock a few things over. We weren't to refill for nothing. Okay.
Hold it!
What do we think? If I'm gonna go with the theory that these guys are connected to Jojo, then it makes sense that he's sending them as his lackeys to do the job and find what you are looking for. And you are doing that from order from Mayor Strongheart? Because the evidence has proof. The small box and the music. The music and the small box are both they're gonna be correct? No, yeah, they're gonna both be right because the small box is the most suspicious one. But we don't really have a lot to go from the music, but the music did have a note specifically that was for him, so it was something very much relevant. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squatty clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admit to something like that, people would think we were up to no good. Well said, Ringo. My old Chinny. By the way, their names... I know that Ringo is, I think it's Japanese for apple, and he was holding an apple at the start. He was holding a pear. We have some information about the two of them. Nash Scully and Ringo Scully. Oh, it's the same. Huh. Well said, Ringo, my old China. We only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact, now, as a result of lying your previous testimony, that's exactly what you have done. Landed yourself in even more trouble. Well... that's rotten luck. Says the rot apple eater. Literally just talk about apples. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right. More like we tied up the place. Sorry. It was when we heard the gunshot. Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. See what I mean? I talked about this before, like how the end of the press doesn't naturally flow into the next sentence, and I wish it did.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is... the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter. Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, alright? Believe me, my dad granny would have woken up at that bang. Big Brave here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over the loads of books, a candlestick, some skull, whatnot. That got tangled up in the marionette. We knocked over a picture frame, knocked over the scales on the floor. You really mastered working quietly then. What a racket, my granny would have been scared back into her grave at a chatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some, I mean, it was quite as a mouse. Right. And then all of a sudden, bang!
Excuse me!
What? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? It was quiet as a mouse before the bang. Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Sculling said. Did it make you think of something? Probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother mentioning it, only... Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about just tell us what's going on in your mind? As you know, we brought these fellows in the yard for questioning last night. The statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Oh, that's why you're thinking about it. Okay. Did it? You claiming that you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have. Does ring a bell now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still, I can't help feeling like perhaps you have been a bit sloppy with your testimonies here, huh, fellas? If I discover the witness testimony has been any more sloppy than it had hitherto proven to be... What the fuck is this word? Have we seen this word before? Up to this point. Hitherto proven to be. I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. You got right this time. That's it, yep. It's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculous return to your questionable mind. Thus, right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling, "Give me that gun!"
Hold it!
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. We did, Gov, we did. Although, if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun. Bang. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun. It's not okay. We know of at least two people. Would Windbank say that? No. He would say, "I'm gonna kill myself." Would Gina have said that? Yes. If she's confronting someone with a gun, and she's holding a gun, she would absolutely say, "If you don't want me to shoot you, give me that gun." She would absolutely say something like that. Or it could be a third person, which would be the killer. Kind of thing. Career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from, could you tell? Of course we could, from the other side of the door behind the counter. From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windbank. Don't know. Oh, my granny's life, of course it was. Because it was a male voice, or because you know his voice? On his granny's life, of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windbank and the sound of his voice. That would mean what? What, Nash? What? Any ideas? Yes, Council, indeed it would. No. We didn't know the geezer. How are we supposed to deny it when the bloke is on the fancy club is giving us the evil eye? If you value our lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. Since when do you give a fuck? On my granny life, it is. On his granny's life, it must be. It's a good job his granny is dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, they heard the voice of a man. You heard a gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget, we tied up after after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, the bloke we owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have fired instead of yelling at the girl. Sorry, the bloke who owned the place was holding the gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Okay, so we are... okay.
Hold it!
I'm gonna press this again. You're saying that Mr. Windbank have a gun in his hand. Oh yeah, bet that was a sign, huh? The two waving them guns at each other must have been pretty heated, which means we have now introduced the third gun. I mean, just before he shot, we hear the geezer said, "If you don't want to get shot." It doesn't really sound like he meant it in mind, more of an empty threat, you could say. The Windbank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People said that to protect the articles in his keeping, he readily put a bullet in someone's head if required, his own head. That someone being himself, of course. But with extraordinary devotion indeed, if I'm alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked the goose proper. Bet he wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shooting. Give me that gun. It was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot. It was more or less the same time. Give me that gun. Kind of that thing. Okay, so at what point do we present to them that he was shot from the back? Here you go. Back. A career acting very tragically missed. Then we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck. Before everything went that quiet. After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up. And then I showed up. I mean, if I haven't given a fright, we wouldn't be thinking the shooter coming out the door and give us next. I'm not completely reading other text because it's a bit difficult for me to read with the accent. I really dislike when they put accents in non-voice acted games, in text-only stories. I really dislike it. The primary reason why we haven't started playing Dragon Quest IV yet. I really don't like the DS translation. And the NES version is a bit too out of quality of life for me. Anyways, so I didn't try to open the storeroom door then. Not on your life. You went deadly quiet after that, you did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course, it was locked from the inside, or so we have been led to believe. It was, Gov. It was, from the inside. Right, so we have no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of inside the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or the spy hole, perhaps. Don't ring no bells, didn't light no lights. We have to cut and run before we notice anything like that. We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see, but one day... we really cut the mustard. We will really cut the mustard. Please cut it out. But as we know, behind the door was the victim's lifeless body. The accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Hina was there unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov, that's right. This press is going on. Gonna have, even if we want to do. I think that's the 3rd time we press the same message. We will figure out the shoe come off the door next. We put everything back. Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, yeah, we were about a bit hasty there. We were, Ness, we was. True to be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss, good advice. Truth to be told, my mind went totally blank. Before my mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged down the street, but apparently we looked at dodge the coppers or something. So they chapped the derbies on us like winking. And after being handcuffed, the police found this revolver in our possession, correct? Well, yeah. But listen, that proves it, don't it? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never have a chance, did we?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that? Well, because it's true, isn't it? The place was totally empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused to have the gun to his head. In other words, on the night of question, these 2 witnesses never even lay eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windbank. Correct? You got it, mister. Down to the T. So the scumbags never actually encountered Mr. Windbank. That's true, I wonder. That it? What is it? You look fierce? Thank you, but I'm fine. With this bother still hiding something. Well, feelings can be logical at times. People expression, their words. You can take it all out. And your brain will cut analyze, come up with the feeling. I think you should trust your instincts. Thank you. Sometimes I think she's 10 year olds. I must be 5. So the wrong thing here should be this.
Hold it!
That's not what I want to press. I want to present evidence. This one. And then present. Let's go with the autopsy report first.
Objection!
To indicate that no, because they're referring that he was shooting for the front. They were thinking the shot will come out from the door next. I don't think there's anything in the blood samples we can use yet. The notes, case, paper, the crime scene, because it shows that he was shot in the back.
Objection!
Come on, the autopsy report should have also worked there. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windbank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture. Oh, you're not talking about him being shot from the back. We're talking about the fact that there is a gun missing. Okay. And yeah, the photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windbank was not holding a firearm of any description. You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right. There can be no question the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windbank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, but there are testimonies implying the existence of 2 guns, also known as the 3rd gun. Sorry, just serving myself. Yeah, that Mutuller used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bang. Kind of thing. Stay exactly where you are, right there. The crime have taken place as you colorfully described in your testimony. It would have given rise to undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my little friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we do have to present the autopsy report.
Take that!
It's just that we have to go the photo first. According to their testimony, the victim claims to have heard a gunshot. The witness claimed to have heard a shot of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the 2 events happening almost simultaneously, or so we are led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if the testimony is true, it would mean at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mrs. Culkin. But it's got honest true. It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windbank holding a gun? Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just all heard the admission by this true test witness That on the night of the question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Scumbag brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash. Ah. Dun, dun, dun. Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, you weren't supposed to. It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear the false witness would be deaf of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? I'm so sorry. The truth is, we cut out nest. Who is behind? Well, we know who is behind you, Chief Justice. If you blab now, you know what he would do to us. What are they talking about? Let me make my position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Bro, come on, the game is up. But you have all our guts for getters. In case it hasn't quite sunk yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances which this meeting took place. Well, do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourself fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. I hate how Van Zix is going to be, oh, actually, I did all of this because I knew the Chief Justice was evil, and I need to find a way to incriminate him, and that's why I used you. And that's why I made you be in a position where you immediately would get guilty, so you would use summation examination, and then I would say, wow, that's fucking stupid, stop using that. But I planned to have you use that. It was all part of my plan. Aha, I predicted everything. Fucking stupid. Please don't be that. Please don't be that. Encounter with the victim. Alright, so we just got inside the Goth and have a sign of relief when the Jesus showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he fled. He seemed a bit upset. Yeah, I'm upset with Lord Van Zix because I genuinely think he's going to reveal at the end that he knew that Chief Justice was evil and he did everything in court to point us into the direction. And no, it's fucking bullshit. And I hope that's not the plot twist of the end. Okay, I'm getting mad at a scenario that I invented in my own head of a possible future that could happen like 10 hours from now. And I'm getting mad at the game because of that. Yes, it's stupid. Okay, back to the testimony. Give me that gun. He bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we have it. For the old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through from that door into the back room. We never have nothing to do with the killing. That's what happened, I swear. That is completely different. So now you are telling us the moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves in an interesting juncture. This changes everything. So pretty much we are restarting the case at this point. But honestly, Governor, this time, Nash, we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Who is being accused of the killing? Okay, let me go over the steps. Me and Sherlock were watching from the window, and then we noticed that the lights for the pawnbroker were turned on. We went there, encountered these two guys on it. They shot Sherlock because we need Sherlock to showed up like 2 hours from now for a plot twist, so we need some excuse to remove him from the story for a bit. And then we call the police. The two have been apprehended. And on the back, where is it? And on the back of the locked room, there was the pawnbroker, and who is that? Shot from the back. And Gina. Sorry, wrong one. And Gina, the thief who is a tsundere, who believes nobody should be trusted because trusting leads to death, but she decided to trust us one last time. Also, Susato is not with us anymore. She's back to Japan. He was shot from the back. She was holding his gun. They used a second gun to shoot Sherlock, and there is a third gun. Then shoot the calendar. So there are 3 guns, each shot once, and we are. I really want to see where that is going. We have some notes from the pawnbroker about things that McGilded have with him. One was a small box, and the other was the music disc. Let me see anything more important. Oh, the papers talked about how the chief minister of justice was actually selling secret information to foreign countries, which looking forward to that being relevant to this case. Gina tried to steal the pawnbrokery and then went inside because she was trying to steal a manuscript of the Hound of Baskervilles. No, yeah, who could see that coming? And for some reason, Susato knew the name of the novel, even though the novel was never published yet. And then there was a whole story about how Sherlock put the story inside the pawnbrokery, and Gina wanted to prove to Aris that people couldn't be trusted. So she wanted to show that the manuscript was not there, but in fact it was. And now we are trying to prove that she is innocent. There is a fun thing about this case. An extra fun thing. We have our group of 6 juries, right? Jury number 6 is the Russian terrorist from the second case. So we have a Russian terrorist who was a visitor, a tourist, and he is now as a jury. And he doesn't want to be in the jury because he really needs to visit the Crystal Tower where the exhibition is going to be held. He really needs to be there immediately. So that's a fun side story, which goes together with Mr. selling secrets to the opponents. This is it. This is the moment we have been waiting for. So there's a lot of things for this case to talk about. Alright, so we just got inside the gap and heard a sign of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Hold it!
I need an actual translation for each sentence this guy says. When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and the proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windbank. Who else? Oh, sorry, I mean, that's right. We were keeping a close eye on the entrance of the gap, obviously. Also, these two are hiding the truth because there is someone behind them doing something to them. Right now, I believe it's Mr. Jojo, who is using them to steal the pawnbroker, to steal McGilded items, and I believe he's doing that because he works for the Chief Lord Justice. Lord Chief Justice, sorry. We were keeping a close eye on the entrance of the gap, obviously. But we never thought no one were gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbroker storeroom. Yeah, that must have been where he popped up from. Only place he could have. Yeah, I think the minister is more competent to hire this guy. Mr. Jojo might be the interpreter. Yeah. Also, there are 2 brothers, but they are actually 3 brothers. We don't know where the 3rd brother is, but they are using the police inspector as the 3rd brother because, according to them, he looks like him. So, yeah. And the inspector just wanna die. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when the brothers entered the premises. Which means also Iris is here as our assistant because Susato is on her way to Japan. She is on her way to Japan because her father is sick. All of that was told to us and arranged by Minister Lord Chief Justice. I don't know if that's actually true. Which means Gina must have been in there at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? Would Gina have threatened Mr. Windbank to the storeroom with her at gunpoint? Then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Because he knew Gina was a good girl who was not gonna steal things, she just needed to check. But, oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at the time? What? The mole tooler? Couldn't tell you. No way, we have a bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old user just lost it. That is absolutely kept somewhere in London. Yeah. So she can be used as something to fuck with us if we get too close to the truth. Yep. She went to talk to Sherlock in the middle of the night. Also, one very common thread in the start of this case, which I absolutely despise, was everyone knew something important and did not tell us why. So we started the morning with Susato getting a telegram, and then we asked her what was in the telegram, and she said, I'm not gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you later. Later on, she told us it was a summon from Lord just to talk about her father. She never told us why, she didn't want to say it. In the middle of the day, we found out that Ari's father was the guy who died on the first case, the medicine professor from the first case, and we are hiding that from her. And then the whole plot line of Susato knowing... No, fuck. Knowing... I wanted to click people. Knowing the title of Ari's book and how did she know, when asked her, her answer was just, I will tell you later. So... one big plot line of this case is let's not talk about things. And there is so much of this case that is like that. There are multiple plot lines that we characters know and they're just not talking about it. Sherlock knows a fuck ton of things, so we have to put him in the hospital so he wouldn't talk about it. We were informed that the moment he woke up, we would be informed of that. We know he woke up in the middle of the night because of cutscenes, and we were not told that he woke up because the plotline needs it. We know that McHugh did have a small box in the storeroom, in the pawnbrokery, and then we went to look for, and the game told us, nope, you're not gonna find it, so don't try, because we are only gonna learn about it when the plot demands it. This is... I understand putting a lot of plot threads that are gonna be important later, so you have to hide the information until later. But the way the information is being hidden to us in this case is not being hidden in a good way. It's just we are not gonna talk about, we are not gonna look for it, we are just gonna remove him from the scene. Like, it's annoying me a little bit. Okay, back to the testimony. We just got inside and saw the old man. Give me that gun. He belowed to, and then thought at us like he was possessed. Okay, so he told that to you because you two have a gun in hand.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windbank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling on the other side of the storeroom. Oh, did we? The truth is, he was shouting those words at you. Well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windbank wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever blimey lumber, like great ugly barrel he have, or destroyed the front piece, so he have a gun. So Gina gave him back his gun. Okay. So what you're saying is you definitely saw Mr. Windbank with the gun at the time, is that right? It is, Gov, it is, spot on. Then out of sudden, he came at us, he did. It was battling. I didn't know who we were going for who. We were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought he have it. I mean... For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too. Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a lot of books, candlestick, and some skull whatnot. I got tangled in some marionette, knocked over the picture frame. We knocked up the scales. So in fact, it was the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things over the counter. Well, Big Brave here went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him. Oh, damn. He did, Nash, he did. If you haven't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds. Mr. Windbank, you are strong. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers flagged CNN back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Windbank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. Where was the person who shot him? You two were in the shop, she was in the storeroom, he was with you.
Hold it!
No, that's not what I wanted to do. Not yet. Courtroom. Gina was presumably here. He was presumably here fighting you too. At some point he got back in. We got in. You two run. Shomes and Susato were in the shop. I called the police came. There was no time for a third person to have left. Which means the third person must have left before me and Naruhodo and Herlock got into the shop. Which means these two knew who the killer is and they're hiding it because it's probably their associate. And we got in just as he left? No, never. Okay, sorry. He pulled the gun on me and then he legged it through that door into the back room. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windbank? No, never. I was just, looking for my old brother. Weren't I? He was being flattened, he was being flattened, don't forget. The man whose shop was being burglared, yes. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away and then run to that door and shut himself in. To protect Gina, maybe? There's something about the last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why this Windbank run away into the storeroom. Well, according to what everyone is saying, Gina was in there waiting for him with a gun. Yeah, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up back in his hand? No idea, but that is strange, isn't it? The little inconsistency could be significant and should make a mental note. Look, the point is, me and my brother here... That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and my brother here... We never have nothing to do with the killing. That's all that happened, I swear.
Hold it!
You say I have nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Nothing of nothing. The old geezer waited and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Luckily it was from the inside. We know it was because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end the situation remained unchanged. No, it doesn't. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker there was only one other person. The sole person who had possibly shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. It would appear so. What says you to that, Counsel? I don't know. Was there anyone else apart who Gina could have shot? Yes. Mr. and Mrs. Culkin. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night. The course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windbane? And it is the belief of the defense the defendant is not the only possible answer. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan on the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must provide answers to the court in respect to the two conundrums. Twice, my lord? Indeed, namely, from what location the culprit shot the victim, and furthermore, let me check something. We still don't know who green blood is. We know that purple blood is Manson and blue blood is Windbane. Who shot the calendar? This is not the bullet that was on Sherlock. We saw from the cutscene that the calendar was like that before we got into the shop. We got two of those photos. This one from 1 AM and this one from 1:30. 1:30 was after we got in. But this is only from one camera. They still have... The prosecutor have all the photos. He has every single one. But he has not given us any photo from the second camera yet. Because the plot demands that you don't see it yet. Also, the most important thing from these photos is this cat photo here that should not be here. That cat photo is this. The note that to grab the coach. No. It's the coach one. Yeah, it's the coach one. Is it the coach one? I cannot see. From one location, the culprit shot the victim, and furthermore, where was the victim at the time? There is something... There is a window on the door. We have used this window, right? He have two notes, one for a coach and one for a small box. Inside the coach was a music box and a note for the small box. The note for the small box was inside the coach. And then Gina gave us to us in the prison while she was in prison. And this is the note from the coach, which I assume it's this one. Where was the victim at the time? It's not confused at all? Nah. Did I tell you the part where the two notes use nearly but not the same photo? Like, if you see the shadow of the cat here, you can see that the shadow is like one, like three, like a bunch of balls. But if you see this photo, no, it was different. We saw this photo side by side, and there were a little big difference. And the one I noticed the most was the shadow. Why is the shadow the same now? Oh, because this photo is supposed to be like a stereoscopic photo. It's like two photos that are very similar but not the same, so you would like cross-eye and see in 3D, which is something we have done with this photo to notice that this thing was moved to the right. If you notice here, the note here fits with the table, and then in this one it's a bit to the right. And that's how we got into this whole discussion that these two guys mess around with the shop, and that's where the testimony started from. Also, this is a machine to see that you put the two photos on it to see the difference. Which means this shit is gonna happen again. We are gonna have to watch from stereoscope other photos. Fun. Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Irina? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove there is a credible new alternative, it would change Gina's perspective hugely. So now, time for clarity. Show the courtroom. Okay. I think he shot from here. I think there is a small window on the door, and I think he could have shot from it.
Take that!
I'm gonna go with that. The culprit could have shot the victim from this location. And to answer the second question, assuming the culprit fired from that location, where was the victim? Here. He died here. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Okay, so the game is acknowledging exactly what I said. Continue. Mr. Windbank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? Are you adamant that the shot was fired from outside? Now, according to the Skull King brothers' early testimony, he had pulled my gun on him and then he legged it from that door into the back room. If your Mr. Windbank ran through that door, we have to assume the door was open at the time. It was precisely at that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers have the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on the finding of Scotland Yard coroner, the report states that the bullet entered the body from a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the shot was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height. Poor man shot while he was running as fast as he could to safely. Of course, he could have been leaning forward as he was running away, so even if the bullet was fired horizontal, it would still enter his body upwards. No, he couldn't because he needed to close the door first. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Windbank.
Objection!
I'm sure my lord can't have forgotten, the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? But what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Alright? Sorry. Sorry. Very well then, counsel, present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario you just described, the defendant's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut the door?
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom. This doesn't make sense because she was also unconscious on the floor and she was holding the gun that he was holding. Defendant, Miss Gina Liston. We still haven't heard her testimony about what happened from her point of view, which is insane to me. It's insane that we haven't talked to her about what she saw that night. That's absurd. You're suggesting that a killer deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around his neck. I'm inclined to believe, I must say. Well, counsel? Ah, yes, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please. But of course, Gina would have locked the door. Yeah, it goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was in Gina's situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, Those two burglars just fired a gun in her direction, haven't they? Yeah, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Milistrande and Windbank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windbank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop, and he left the storeroom. Intruders? Oh, that's us, brother. If your theory is correct, I would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled through the storeroom door, hoping to escape. Hit into the back by the bullet, Mr. Windbank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves is, what would the defendant have done in that situation? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who have just murdered Mr. Windbank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrande, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Bro, I mean, we ain't the one who did it. It was our third brother. We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shot no one. You shot Sherlock in front of me. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Oh yeah, we did. There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mrs. Culkin, your brother have every opportunity to have been the two perpetrators of Mr. Windbank murder. Well... yeah... Why does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket? Oh! Deaf guy is back and he's a surgeon, and here's the terrorist. Which, I wanna see that sentence again. What did he say? 3 brothers? Why was this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot? I should have known it was those 3 brothers. They look as shit as this forest. Also, the deaf guy is a surgeon who operated on Sherlock, and he somehow doesn't know where his scalpel is, and he wants to go home because he's afraid, and he left the scalpel inside Sherlock. That was amazing, Yuruna. And the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they will give us a verdict of not... An admirable effort, my learned friend. What is it now? He's laughing. You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zix? I myself find your defense argument most persuasive. I dare say such chinery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjecturing tricks amount to nothing more than an inexcusable pettifoggery here. Now that's a word. What? The hypothesis you put forward so scantily credibly cannot and will not stand. Because it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me you are unaware of your logic following? Say, Lord Van Zix, might be an idea to explain this burly conjecture, or whatever it is that the troops to the ground. He likes to be very obtuse when he races towards you. Yeah. The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you are not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets? We know at least 3 shots. Oh, he's talking about the... because the brothers... So... Windbank gun shot 1 bullet. Skull King brothers gun shot 1 bullet. And we know of 3 bullets. The Skull King brothers gun shoots Sherlock. Windbank shot something. And the 3rd gun shot something. The 2 somethings are Windbank and the calendar. He knows then. The Skull Brothers could not have shot him because they shot Sherlock. What is everyone talking about? Council? I love how Iris knows And she's like, okay, let's not point out, we just knew they're not guilty. Counsel, yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two bullets, plus Sherlock bullet. Correct. The first, which hit the victim in the back and in his life. Second, which struck the detective Mr. Sherlock on his arrival. And a third, on the calendar. Why are we not talking about the third? The defense presented a picture showing damage caused by the second bullet early in the proceeding. Nope, not the second bullet. Nope, it's not. This was already here. This is the third bullet. The bullet which injured Mr. Sherlock Holmes appeared to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Nope, third bullet. Your lordship understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windbank, and the Skulking Brothers revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed, a single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. See, this is bullshit. Because the only reason why this discussion is happening is because they decide to have the trial immediately the day after, so we can't have we can't use the bullet that was on Sherlock's shoulder as evidence, because we need the case to happen immediately before anyone have time to actually check everything. You yourself told the two bullets shot Mr. Shaw right before your eyes. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I think you will find that if the single bullet that was fired from the brothers hit Mr. Shawmy, it means Windbank not shot by same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly incredible argument. However, it was never any more than diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Order, order, order. I stopped counting how many bottles he destroyed, or chalices. It was too many. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollow nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zix, that's the fourth bottle. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Mr. Gina Lestranda, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the docks is far from a law-abiding citizen. He has a past riddled with criminal conduct. Come on, just because she's a criminal doesn't mean she's a criminal. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As you can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. Ooh! We are gonna talk about the music disc! Yes! I was looking forward to this! One of the things that we are finally connecting back to McGilded. That disc! I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded down to the yard. Well, thank you very much. No, don't give it to him. It's mine. Sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, the music box disc, McGilded music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Windbank, the accused attempt to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by the brute force of brazen impudence. Goodness gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on the account of her years of misguided... any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. Okay, so he's talking about her age, okay. There are no depths to which the girl would not stop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets the fact at its peril. fucking terrorists. You do not deserve to react to that. I see. I think it will be prudent to take this music box into evidence, Council.
Hold it!
Lord Van Zix, I have ordered from my superior, from Lord Chief Justice, for you to shut the fuck up. Yes, Inspector. We have a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service. And I think it was agreed that this would not be used as evidence. Please. What is this about? Why is it? Okay, so yeah, we are going to that direction. Lord Van Zix knows that Gina is innocent, knows that this is a bullshit from Chief Lord Justice, and he's using the case to get to it. Oh, so why every time I'm trying to do my best and she's about to be called guilty, why are you being racist? Why aren't you giving me like some small hints here and there and trying to push it and be like we need to find the truth above all else? Why are you instead going, Gina is the killer, fuck you, get her guilty now, also Japanese are horrible? Why are you going with that character? That's what I was mad at the beginning of the stream. Okay, sorry. That's just being British in this state. He's not British, he's a vampire. It's the first time he said anything to Van Zix at all. Sorry. I'm unaware of such meeting, but those were the instructions from right from the top. The government big wings were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecution, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. So yeah, the inspector isn't a good guy. He is working for Chief Lord Justice. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Okay, bailiff. No, not the bailiff. Bailiff works for him. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. We don't have anything to check, right? I do wonder who gave this disc for McGilded. For McGilded. That's the man defending court a couple of months ago. Yep, the British brightest philanthropist gentleman. Oh! Oh yeah, so one of the things we have, the color of the blood, is because she has a machine that identifies blood by color. A lovely bright shade. Green, which is the color that was in the calendar. Green is the color of Lord Chief Justice. No, it's Lord Chief Justice. That's why McGilded is connected to this. The big Lord Chief Justice was at the fucking pawnbrokery yesterday. I have no fucking doubt. I don't think Jojo would have gotten the disc unless he's a double agent. No, I think it's Lord Chief Justice. Then did the count of Lord Jojo's hand. Oh yeah, the disc was not blotted. You're right. There was no blood on the disc before. Sorry, I got that in my mind because the note he have on him for the coach have blood from Manson because he have that dirty when the third case happened. Also, fun fact, the coach. We spread this on the coach, and the coach was completely full of blood from Manson. Manson was the guy who died on the omnibus. And they were like, okay, so McGilded was wearing a coach, which is completely stock full of blood from the victim. Which I'm really interested to know how that blood got there, considering that McGilder is innocent. It's just that green it's not the first time we have seen that color, is it? But you are right, this blood got here when she pulled from him. So he is the one who got shot here. Motherfucker. So yeah, the note has mentals, and when we spread that on the coach went like completely purple. Like, it was very graphic. It was fun. Oh, we got a third page. Oh, this case is gonna be long, man. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. So now it's your job to clean the mess. Ladies and gentlemen, I await your informed decision. See, he's not trying to extend the trial. He's trying to close the trial. Like, there are cases in Ace Attorney with Miles. On the final case of the 5th game, which is, I think it's Dual Justice, where Miles comes back as a prosecution, and Miles is not there to get the victim to be guilty. He's there to help Phoenix, and both together are trying to find the truth. So every time one says something, the other is there to essentially they're constantly verifying each other's sentences and trying to elevate the logic and get up until we reach the conclusion. He is not doing that. He is trying to close the trial. And I'm gonna get annoyed if it reveals that he doesn't want the trial to end. If it's revealed that I'm completely wrong, he doesn't know about Lord Chief Justice, and he's just doing his job, that's completely okay. If it reveals that, no, actually I knew that Lord Chief Justice, and I knew that if I do this, I knew that you were gonna contradict, and I knew you would find, and I trusted you, and no, fuck you, racist bitch. That's my anger. Again, anger at a theoretical scenario that may happen like 10 hours from now. And I'm angry at it. Back to the present. I have the jury on my side for once for all 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even 5 minutes, you know. No, it was. I spent at least 5 minutes yelling. My lord, I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden. The answer barely obvious to me and my man. There is only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, will you present your leaning as a defendant culpability?
Guilty.
Guilty.
Time for the
Guilty.
second summation examination.
Guilty.
Also, the sergeant can't put his hand on the button, so he presses with his head. Eh. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line, I wrote that! For Hurley! How dare he use it against us? He is a fan! He is a fan of your books! Didn't know that. Don't worry, Aris, I don't think we have finished yet. There must still be more to this case than we realize. Because there's one thing I'm absolutely certain of. Gina did not shot Windbank. That is beyond any doubt. Very well. We will now proceed with the second summation examination of the day. I didn't even need to request, you just know I was going to. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other juries ready? Guardab Squadron is prime and ready for action. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good thing we don't even need to ask anymore. This is the first summation examination that Lord Von Zix doesn't interrupt the process to go, really? Are you doing that again? You filthy Japanese, why are you wasting everyone's time again? Because he did that with the first one. I want to talk more with Mr. Terrorist. Once a rogue, always a rogue. I say different breeds towards law-abiding citizens, so you don't have a motivation. As only 2 bullets, no, were found in the sim, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. Is this when we are gonna introduce the 3rd bullet? Oh, is the sergeant gonna talk about the bullet inside Sherlock? You don't need a stethoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look, it was the pickpocket. Huh, never imagined see the operation would cause me so much grief. Yep, he's gonna talk about the bullet. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I'm ballistic expert. I have seen many shooting. There is nothing I do not know about gun. Of course you are. You'd see there is little remnant room for doubt. Sorry, I would see there is little remaining room for doubt. Have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'll be jolly well being hoodwinked. Well, no more. The whole courtroom was turning against me. It's not fair. The prosecutor is being mean. Just because a Gina done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. You do have a blade with you. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here to the truth coming out eventually. See? He's hinting at it. That's enough, Mabel. Counsel proceed with the summation examination. Oh god, I'm already out of water. And I brought the big bottle today. Let me... Just a second, let me see if I still have some. Oh god, it's only 1 hour and I'm already on my last cup. How did I drink nearly 3 liters since in 1 hour? Yes, my lord. Okay, so as always, let's press everything and see how many sentences are gonna change.
Hold it!
Just because Ms. Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, you must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Well, are all members of the British Army so quick to judge? I beg your pardon. Are you mocking Her Majesty Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world? No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. Huh, well, yes, I have a point, I suppose. But let's not forget, the girl have already showed she haven't heard from before. She clearly a criminal sort, true and true, can't deny it. When you say she haven't in her, I'm referring to this. Exactly, try to swim that only a day early, or am I mistaken? Not exactly. Given that I was actually there, it's hard to refute that. I never actually see the real thing. Can't wait to have a closer look at it. Okay, so this is the game. Pointing to you, open the court, examine, check the blood, and that's going to point out because the blood and the calendar, that's what we're going to be doing in this summation examination. Okay. Okay, you don't have to be that direct, game. The shaman did use caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. We still don't know what tune it plays to. But I love to see how the original compares to Hurley copy. Mr. McHugh the disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Okay, you don't have to be this direct, game. Like, okay, if this was the tutorial case, yes. This is not the tutorial case, this is the final case, come on. Put a little bit of hope on your player, come on. There's only 2 oh, did it change? No.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that... It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, and 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the... Sorry. Ooh. I always tell her to count the table setting. Sitting. Setting? Oh god, sorry. Oh, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes. Sometimes after dinner, crockery does go missing. One or two guesses rather like the fine china. Does our employer dine with thieves? So I suppose. There was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware. I'll have to reconsider my position. A third bullet somewhere on the scene. I can prove it. Not yet, but I can. Allow me to show you the third bullet.
Take that!
I don't suppose they would pass. Okay, so yeah, we need to keep going forward. So, but yeah, that's gonna be one of the things of this summation. Okay. So if I understand correctly, you need two pictures, one on the left eye and a slightly different on the right eye. Exactly, then you can see the scene in three dimensions like this. So if we have two bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful. Sorry. Sorry about that. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always look the same here. The only person who could shot the victim is the girl in the dock. How can you be sure? Think about it, the skulking brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yeah, that's been mentioned once or twice. Oh, surely it's coming to focus now. Okay, so it's just Okay, you are the big one right now.
Hold it!
Would you please stop murdering about things that have nothing to do with the trial, sir? The defendant's life's on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it's nothing to do with the trial, to be honest. I mean, there is no question that the man was shot, but the bullet have simply vanished from his stomach. Quite inexplicable, don't you think? I don't want to ask, but the surgery you have been muttering about all this time, you were operating on... What was the fellow name? Harlock? Harlock Sholmes by any chance? Oh yes, good lord. It was that Harlock fellow. What? You are the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? Oh god, I hope not. No, because it's the gun... Okay, most likely... Sherlock took the bullet with him, so when he appears, he's gonna give it to us so we can present as proof that there is a third bullet. Same with the scalpel. I don't know why he needed a scalpel, but he's probably the one who stole it. You are the surgeon and operate on Mr. Sholmes. That's right. Using the very latest anesthetic techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major operation, I can tell you. This is crazy. Oh yeah, there was a fun talk on the first summation. He was mad because he's a surgeon. So according to British culture, that means he's not a doctor because doctors are doctors and surgeons are not doctors. Which I found it quite funny. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he has been shot by some criminal or not, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his inside with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I have to throw up my hand and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to say the obvious, but... yes. Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The cause for the defense is correct, as it clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the skulking shots fired as Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body, lodging into the shop wall. Quite simply, we just go to the problem three-dimensionally. Nah, who do you think I am, son? There was no exit wound on the other side. Well, juror number 4 is the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound on the main stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake. Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did, and there was no trace of an injury. No sign that the bullet has left his body at all. What? That's the point. The only logical solution was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can someone please explain it, how it happens? Can somebody please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how the jury was put together. Where is the expert? Here is the expert. Okay, let's check you. What do you mean? You're in for a busy day? Forgot to say stop. Do stop. Do excuse me, stop. I'm a communication officer, stop. You mean like the ones that Chief Lord Justice is using to sell secrets? Did Lord Van Zix put this jury on? A communication officer, terrorist, the surger? Did you put this jury on, motherfucker? Literally the ballistic expert, yeah. A communication officer, does that have something to do with sending the telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by the members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable under the sea, stop. Worldwide communication network, stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of the globe, stop. Yes, she was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the like before. I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. Sure, I shall have to wire the newspaper report of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? I love your pose. I could just beat you, but I do want to press you just to see what happens. I thought you were just a tourist. Good day, I'm visiting London. Oh yeah, he doesn't speak English, so he's just saying messages he memorized beforehand. Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. Which is where the Great Expo is happening. There is no way he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistic expert. Who knew? I have much experience with guns. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of... No, blood of, extremely violent bloodbaths, perhaps? Those extremely violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. I agree. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullet and guns, ask me. There is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of gun, that's for sure. But, if possible, please only in Russia. He's not very confident in his knowledge of English. No, still, we should bear in mind. Van Zix has managed to convince everyone, blah blah blah, just need to... Okay, so the first one is pretty to the point.
Objection!
And this is gonna lead to the third bullet, and which is gonna lead to the minute. Those two statements contradict each other. The idea that those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit juries against each other. Oh, a ballistic expert. Beating. On the night in question... Oh my god. Sorry. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the skulking brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through to him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Your name is Villain! Hello, Villain. Pleased to meet you, Villain. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I've seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night, there was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of road. He was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers have hunting rifles and they were on dog sheds. Mate, do not ask too many questions. No, I want more questions. I was shot from behind and fell down in the snow. And the situation was very similar to what I heard today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. No sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if never hit, why did you fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from the lump of ice and pierced my body. No, we are not going with that. We are not going with they miss it. They would know. They would know that the bullet wound would not be... If it was a fragment of a bullet, there wouldn't be a bullet wound. There would be a different type of wound. They would know this. It made deep wound that just looked like bullet wound. No fucking... I prefer the ice bullet. Good gracious. Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. That is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question. The shooting happens in a pawnbroker shop, not some snowy mountains in another country. There's an idea. We might not be looking at exactly the same scenery here. Bruno, what exactly was Hurley shot again? Oh, according to the reports, in his stomach, sort of this area? Well, that's precisely why he wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? I might have known something like that. Yes, a pouch where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals. He was never shot in the first fucking place. Well, he was shot, they just missed it. What? Really? Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital as far as I remember. If I may, Lord Van Dix, while I realize that it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside. You really gonna go with... I knew everything that was gonna happen in this court. I knew every fucking thing, and I have everything prepared for it. And yes, the correct path for justice was through racism. Fucking bullshit. Sorry. As I understand, when the police arrived at the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, thank goodness, I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case, and I will not present them until it's time. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well, all extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution to present the item in question. Bring forth Mr. Harlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. Yep. The bullet did not hit him. The bullet hit the glass, and the glass entered him, and they assume it was a bullet wound. So this is the pouch one where Mr. Sholmes on the night in question. Look at that, one of the fire. Okay, like, and all of that is just to explain that the calendar bullet is not this bullet that was shot at him. The thing is, if we just said that the bullet was inside him, it was removed in the surgery, we would have reached the same conclusion. This game has these little things of there is a path, but we are just gonna add a little bit of extra tangent that doesn't actually really change anything, it's just to add a little bit. Let's just keep going. Maybe this is gonna lead to something else. One of the files is broken and the letter around it scarred black. Almost as if the file exploded. I found this is the third brother. Yeah, I thought of that. I talked about that yesterday, that JoJo was my first idea. Because you have not seen it, I think. But these guys love to keep posing. They do a lot of posing. So I did thought that JoJo was the brother. But they said that Tobias was like identical to their brother. But they don't look the same. That's what it threw me off. Exploded. So that night, the bullet from the Skulking Brothers gun struck Mr. Shum's pouch. And it was the glass vial exploding that caused the fellow injury. This bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. No, it wasn't. And you know that. But you're not saying it. A delightful complex aroma. Well, it would appear as one mystery has been solved at least. So, it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The burgling brothers shot a detective and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence. Apparently, pouch isn't scruffy. Okay, let me take a look. The pouch Shams was wearing, one of the glass files is smashed and there are scorch marks around it. And that's where the bullet came. Oh, the bullet is still here. The real scotted bed. Oh, the scrap is broken. Look. That must be where the bullet hit. Let me see. Okay. Are we gonna go in on the tangent of a leather pouch being able to hold a bullet? I don't want to go into this tangent because but we can acknowledge that this would not hold the bullet and move on. It's a game, that's okay. Behind where the broken file was, do you see it? Ah, that's the bullet. What a stroke of luck. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windbank that night. We found exactly what the jury was talking about. The 3rd bullet. Let's press the jury again. The 3rd bullet. Because the bullet was fired from the skull gun. Thanks to the thick leather, the pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Really, always look like that. Wonder how lucky he really was. It appears the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. And now the game is just telling me go and look at it. Here you go.
Hold it!
The number of bullets that you... Okay, so she's just gonna ask me proof that there was one more. I can prove it. Here you go. The 3rd bullet. Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windbank, Pawnbroker, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
You were holding to this fucking pouch, and there was a bullet inside, and you did not mention. He knows, but he still decides the best way to go about it is to be racist. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Shum's pouch. What? Its pouch was removed from around Mr. Shum's waist before he was taken to the hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one. You mean to say the shot fired by the Skulking Brothers that night Yes, as your lordship has surmised it hit these pockets. But that makes no sense. We don't know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Two guns from the scene of the crime have already been submitted in the court record of evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Wainbank and the belongings of Skulking Brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet has been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question 3 bullets were fired. Which means that there is a third gun. Only 3 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until the incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Hey, oh, he's in the stand. Mike. Order. While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundation upon which the case against the defendant has been built. It is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter, bailiff, bring the witness back. Time for a third cross-examination. So much is being hidden from us because of Mr. Jojo and Chief Lord Justice. Witness? Governor? Were you listening to the proceedings while the defendant carried out the summation examination? We were, Governor, we were. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble and simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? Is it one of yours? Garbly, gimme Garbly, not a chance. In that case, you do have an accomplice? What? What? Never. The Skull Brothers work alone. Just the 2 of us, that's our trademark. How soon we forgot Pooh Skulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originate from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lume, that's a head scratcher. Counsel for the defense? Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding this new development. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearms from Haste where it came from. Speaking back over all the testimonies we heard and all the evidence we have seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened. No, you have not. There is so much we still have to go on. The third bullet tells the Skull Brothers a secret accomplice. On that night on the Windbank pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a third man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of their accomplice. But the evidence all points out that there was someone else present, someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
An accomplice, you say? Pig's will. These protected proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summations and examinations. Yet in all that time there have been not a murmur of a third man, if this apparently like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. First, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And second, the identity. Okay, so it's Jojo and we prove with the blood stain. Okay, the Skulking Alliance, I know that. But how can I assert the identity of the person? Well, counsel? I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity. My lord, the defense is ready to present. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands, if the game allows me. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, You seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward. There is no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it makes a difference. If it will make a difference. I would like you to present evidence without delay. The moment leading up to the death of the victim, what proof do you have that there was a third induced? Blood sample. The evidence is right here in this portfolio. Badge of that portfolio again. You intend to expect the card to refold to the papers itself? Be more specific. One of the best proofs there is a third. Which one?
Take that!
This one. What am I looking? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole. That is not a blood stain. That's a blood stain, my lord. Blood stain. Green blood. Curious, even for me. It's a courage to understand that the intruder was some sort of inhuman creature, like a Japanese man. It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, the great detective. New invention stop, now it appears in story stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger spray a chemical that reacts with different elements in people's blood to change its color. Different elements of people's blood. Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole new extra dimension to looking at the blood. Talk of blood in cartoon stuff, very exciting stuff. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windbank. Ah, a striking blue. Yes, so you see the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that someone else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The data showing on the calendar The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windbank was killed. Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. And whose blood it is? Well, the Skulking brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering any gunshot wounds. Which means it must be the blood of someone else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is waiting to hear? You cannot delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is the third one? If you haven't pointed out to me about the disc being the blood of Jojo, I would have presented Chief Justice first.
Take that!
The man's man is Eggert Benedict. Eggert Benedict, who on earth are you talking about, Counsel? He paid a visit to Windbank Pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing the article into her possession. Oh, I just split the rest of my water. Fuck. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempt to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you. Okay, I'm just gonna skip this. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you collaborate in this account, Inspector? Yes, that's more or less what happened, but the minister told me to shut the fuck up about it. And in the interest of being true, I asked Windbank for a print showing the fella. Ooh. Sorry. Taken from one of his red-handed recorded goodness. This is on the left. The photo is still here. Okay. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windbank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice. Well, Mr. Skokie? Oh, sorry. Never seen the geezer before in my life. All my life, never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears that our witness disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recall my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, I can. Then show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the gentleman in the photograph. This is the last piece of evidence. I have a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now I'm gonna drag it kicking and screaming to the courtroom. Are you ready to present the answer? Yes, my lord? Blood staples again. The proof is in this portfolio. Oh, good gracious. Does this portfolio contain the answers to every question? Yes, it does. I see you share my interest in the claret-colored liquids, my Nipponese friend. Enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Which blood sample proves?
Take that!
This. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted decisively, admittedly, to reclaim the disc from Windbank, which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man attempted to prelume the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Okay, yeah, the disc was clean. Okay. But of course, sir, here's the disc for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc. It's mine. Ah, what are you doing, little tramp? You draw blood, you filthy animal. You filthy animal. Be a music box. This, it contains it has countless small and sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. The result smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty Folger gun. Yes, and we added the result to this portfolio. I say, it's green, exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Egbert Benedict, who was in Windbank earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime the same night. But there was someone else. Look at those two brothers. They are sweating buckets. Oh, who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you said. Yes, I heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substance devised by the fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. But the bloodstains turned a shade of green water out of it. Here is to your successful proving that no other blood in the world would turn to the same color. Well... And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Sholmes? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't gonna be recognized by any official body. But what other choices do I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. Father Christmas! About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, the examination isn't over yet. Good grief, what did you just say, young girl? And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hand of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So, the way I see it, it doesn't matter what a certain other people think of Hurley invention. At least, not for now. I love... Okay, in this entire game, by far, Iris is my favorite character. Oh, she's so fun. Yeah, she is right. Young lady, you got quite a devious mind. You really just come down to one thing. Whenever these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced about by what you say, you know. Is that about right, would you say, or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Shum's partner is the force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shred precise of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leaning in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty Britain, I'm sure you will come to a fair and just conclusion. So then, state your final decision in turn.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
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 Not guilty.
Nice. Eh. 2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. Okay? So pack up and go back to your home, motherfucker. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilty. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zix, shut the fuck up. This trial will continue. See what I mean by, like, it doesn't make sense for him to want the trial to continue to grab Chief Lord Justice if he acts like that. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonable requested subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Igor Benedict, is clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove that the man was there at the night... Could I say something? Who was that? Who spoke? Me, my lord. Juror number 5. What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Me, madam? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again. The one with which the gentleman is shown. Oh, right. This one, you mean? Of Mr. Benedict. Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No. Good gracious. For a second, I thought it was gonna be like someone in the public stands going, excuse me, judge, he's like right there watching the trial. Juror number 5, how on earth? I'm a communication officer, stop. As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is a communication officer. He works in my offices. Stop. Oh, so he's working... Yeah. So he is working for McGilde, for Lord Chief Justice, and he is the bridge in which he... Let me reread this article. Sensation story, lower down the front rows as well. Minister Mo, classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. So this is the guy who Lord Chief Justice is using to leak secrets to outside nations. Okay. Between Great Britain and its allies, apparently they are... Okay, so they are now saying a different thing. Apparently, communications between Britain and its allies are being intercepted by hostile nations. There's a difference between someone is leaking and communication are being intercepted. Which one is it? Communication will be intercepted, but how would somebody do that? Okay. Oh, is the government saying that the communications are being intercepted while the papers are saying the minister is leaking? Maybe. A very talented operator, in fact. You should be in the communication station now. Stop tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. So that's why she's on the jury, because she knows where he is. I suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up at night. I suppose that it is. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. The gentlemen at London communicate, like the fact that each member of the jury is the key for something. It's very much on purpose. The gentleman at the London communication station, we should be able to supplement him within the hour. Lord Van Zix, if you please. Yeah, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship buys. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrive, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you especially about the events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Well, court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Okay, and I'm gonna grab this opportunity to grab myself some water. Let me just save the game, and we will be right back in a minute. Okay, I'll be right back. All right. That was a longer break than it should be, but that's okay. Okay, where were we? We are talking about the third bullet, the third person, Mr. Jojo himself. We are just have the break. He said 1 hour, and then we are gonna be back at 1:40. So we are literally 1 minute from leaving the courtroom. Okay. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny, are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, huh? I go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me. What? Well, you saw it, that picture. What picture? Ah, you mean this one? The photograph taken by Hurley automatic camera? Well, I didn't think it would have been captured in a scene like this, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, aren't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented to the court. Sorry. Surely you gotta have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Huh, baka. Gina, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Finally! Bruno's clearly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still. We'd really like to hear from you. Alright. It was after we have dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all have a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yeah, I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slip out and went down to the street to the 221. To Windbank Place, I have to know. Iris' story was there or not, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Basker, 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 Basker. Basker vibes. I don't know what it's about or anything, but if you ask me, there is something in it that Sholmes don't like. Something he won't, something he doesn't want people reading. That's why he lied to Aris about sticking it in Windbank for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windbank. I just have to know if it was there or not. I mean, I have no idea how that was gonna kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark, as you like in there. The photo is already here. The lamp is not broken. So I give the oil up on the counter a bit of a wink, and that's when... What do you think you're doing? Ah! I nearly died, and the next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like I don't know what. Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. Did nothing pickpocket. Waiting for armed robbery. The manuscript. Have you got it here? This Sholmes leave a load of papers with you, a story. I beg your pardon. The Hound of something or another. If it's here, I wanna see it. Sorry, young lady, but I sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see it here, that's all. Oh, you want to see it? I want to know if Sholmes really pulled here or not. Please, just let me see it and I will go. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom and we both went inside. It was there alright, the manuscript. Holmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Gina? Anyway, there was a bit of a kick-up in the main bit of the shop. The Skulking Brothers arriving on the scene, yes. What was that noise? Someone was breaking in. Dear me, is there some buggers convention here tonight that I don't know about? I think I forgot to shut the door behind me, sorry. Better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back? Oh, well, I'll come with you and... No, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. And with that, he took the gun off my hands and walked back into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. Sounded like they got a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see. So I was just about to go out of the storeroom myself when... I heard a couple of shots go off too, I think, almost at the same time. One in his back, which is how he died, and one in the calendar, piercing the shoulder or something of Mr. Jojo. But if Jojo shot him... Jojo was shot, so Jojo was in front of him. So Skullbroker shot him from the back? And then they swapped the guns? I heard a couple of shots go off too, I think, almost at the same time. And then there he was at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it as quick as like, because you thought whoever shot Mr. Windbank might come for you. Yeah. So I went to grab the old cove gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at it, I knew. Windbank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. That must be when you passed out, Gina. If I haven't done what I have done, The old cove might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they say is, if I keep telling lies, it will make things even worse for me. We'll be alright, Gina, don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put the real culprit to the meal. That cove what was there in the afternoon? That Egbert Benedict. Still remember how he looked at me like I was nothing. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what? You can leave it all to Runo capable hands now, Ginny. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded, we told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the book trooper off Wyndham. Even though he was a killer, we are not sure he was a killer. Do not smear the name of McGilded like that. No, I could never forget that. I did what I thought it was best at the time. But the pain of the error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'll be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? Could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know. I wasn't in your position, Gina. I was the accuser in a trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And stranger it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure no one would believe it wasn't me who done it. Oh, Runa. But there wasn't one person who stood up for me, who believed in me and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Yonosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I will do the rest. I was so happy, I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. Are we gonna tell Iris that the victim was her dad? As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had absolutely unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolutely unwavering belief in him. And then he died as a coincidence because we couldn't have him for the rest of the game. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I will keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry, I won't let you down. Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar, you are not like McGilded. You are not a philanthropist, gentleman. That's right, you are our friend, Ginny. Iris, we know you better than you think. And we come to the conclusion that you are someone we can trust. Yes, that's really all we need to know. Exactly. Mr. Naruhodo, Defendant Gina Leston and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you. Being both a defendant, I have been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time. So I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew was how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is at last the final chapter, the final battle. It's not. Wish me luck, Susato-san, and I hope you are watching over me, partner. Genuinely, Naruhodo's character development of him not believing himself in the first trial, to learning how to believe in himself, to having the third trial being one that leaves him in completely fucking doubt of everything, to the fourth one being learning how to believe again, and this one closing it up with full trust believing his friends. His character development, his character arc throughout this game was really good. It was real. I really enjoy it. I do not like the second case. I hate the plotline of Kazuma dying because of a misunderstanding and an accident and a little girl pushing him and then he broke his neck. I fucking hate that. It would be so much more interesting if Kazuma was actually here, but like, I don't know, put an extra case. Put the second case as a case where Kazuma is really helping you, so the Chief Lord uses something to like hold him so he can never be here to help you. I did not. The second case is bad. The second case is bad, and I genuinely believe Kazuma being here would be interesting. I do understand that having him die would be important for Naruhodo to grow up as a character. I just wish his death was more important. Like, maybe Chief Justice killed him or something. That would be much more interesting if Chief Justice somehow killed him because he knew that we cannot have this Japanese guy actually be here, and maybe the decision to bring someone from outside was against his wish or something. Like, I feel like you could do that and also make defeating Lord Chief just a much more personal story. And I don't know, I just feel like his death should be something more important than filler investigation tutorial death on accident. Like, it's such a shit way. They are presenting him so much as this like very important legendary figure in his life, and then his death is so fucking bad. Okay, let's get back to it. I hear. Okay, let me save it again. Bum, bum. Oh, oh no, that's right. I started today's stream like 30 minutes late. That's why the clock doesn't hit. Okay, I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zix, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it seems. I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson Precise of the case here by the court this morning. Precise of the case. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And I told the defense chemical analysis of the blood that the scene makes for a compelling argument. I cannot permit such untried method to be used as evidence in my courtroom. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me, a very big mistake. My lord, the witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Egbert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon, and I certainly not like this. The third brother. They all look the same. Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir. But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Gradam, AG. Communication Officer. Mr. Gradam and I both work at London Central Communication Station. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what this is all about? You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume. Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. You do not have an apparent bullet wound. That is the accusation, indeed. This is really beyond a joke, you know. Well, without further ado, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Grayson. Grayson? I was just thinking of him as Graydon. Ashley Graydon. No. I can't think of a pun. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. Gladly, my lord, gladly. I wish that you have followed him and pose. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking service from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place in the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Outrageous. Even if a certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene, some scaramouche detective homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. So, you deny the accusation completely. I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swallowed by these self-professed detectives' toys. It was will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If following the defense cross-examination your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately. Good, then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea, so small consolation at least. Let us not hold up Grayson any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Egbert Benedict. Or is it Graydon? My apologies, you are? Yonosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer, we have met. If you say so, Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So, I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do. Can we put the hat on? Ooh, he removed the hat. Okay, let's press it as always.
Hold it!
Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was Egbert Benedict, I believe. The witness is here to testify about the events that took place that night. He's under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions. You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. Well, were we? Okay. So he's gonna be evasive here in the effort to not give anything away. This could be tricky. But are you still suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into place and murder? Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No. I do not associate with criminals. Said by the name who introduced himself as Egbert Benedict. I'd like to know, who am I to thank for this? Who made this outlandish accusation against me? The young lawyer there in the black. This is a farce. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting such an outrageous accusation. Where were you at 1 in the morning on the night in question? That is past the hour at which I normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. We're able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point. What do you mean? The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. The accusation is that the witness was present at the scene. Then, obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. Yep. The good old, you have to prove a positive, you are not to prove a negative. You can prove that someone was somewhere, you cannot prove someone was never there. Well, not exactly this, but it's a whole concept in logic reasoning shit. It's not you cannot prove a negative. Like the Santa Claus thing. You can prove that Santa exists by putting Santa in front of you, but you cannot prove that Santa does not exist. Because any such justification can be turned. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable question to the witness. I love the pose. A silent victory in Wingo, thanks. Even if certain parties here present claim that my body was found at the scene.
Hold it!
Blood was found at the scene of the crime, there is no question of that. Mr. Shum's chemical analysis positively identified the substance as such. But I'm not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure the blood is mine? It could be the blood of these two miscreants. Every individual blood has slightly different composition. It seems Mr. Shum chemical spare me this science lesson. Who is this Shum character anyway? Oh, I assume our Londoners would know the name. He's a renowned detective. So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective? Now we are in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say, Mr. Skulkin? What? Me? No, sorry. The other Mr. Skulkin. Right, I have it up here with this. How many times I got that? I know, you're not big, broad Skulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Can't blame me, Governor. You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your head? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must be hidden. What you want? Mr. Nash Skulking, answer the question, please. What went you through your head when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Nothing, honest God, nothing. I was just thinking, if he went his arm around like that much more, it will open up the wound again, that's all. What wound? This is dumb. Okay, but that's okay. Where the none of what we are talking now has anything to do with what he was saying when we started the pursuit. It was only 2 days ago, ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, worried for him and... Oh, bells. Say, Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord? Yes, Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet wound in the wall, the person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabout. Perhaps you allow the court of show to examine your arm, sir? The left arm is that you're currently grasping with your right hand as if in pain? No, I refuse. You have to show evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. No, we don't. No, we don't. You The court absolutely have the right to examine you if you are looking for a bullet wound. We absolutely have. I'm not obliged to permit any invasion of my privacy. As I have already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I have never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at this insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim to have nothing whatsoever to do with Windbank pawnbrokery? My lord, the defense would like to the last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Very well. Continue. The bottom line never have anything to do. And then we present the music box with his blood.
Objection.
Have you seen this before, Mr. Graydon? Like, this is not a good plot line to go through, because when we pressed the first time, we talked about his involvement, and then the prosecution objected and said that his involvement in the last day in the morning has nothing to do with what happened at that night, and judge allowed the objection, and now we are going back to it, but this time with proof that he was there in the morning, which is unnecessary because the inspector is proof enough. But okay, why is it supposed to mean something? The disc was until the day of the murder in Paul. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina. That afternoon, somebody mysterious appeared to have taken it from her. And that somebody was you, of course, wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times, you are mistaken, that was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may escape your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps? That's right, the surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. What would have happened if we have shown... Oh, we don't have the photo of him! Why do we not have the photo of him? The skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor laceration. So, while the disc bears remnants of the skirmish in the form of the smell of blood, the thumb of the person bears the remnants in the form of a scrap. Like, this is dumb. You refused to allow the court to examine your arm before. Are you gonna refuse us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smell of blood in this disc. Like, why do we need to prove that he was there in the morning when the inspector literally took him away? You would think I underestimate you. What is the meaning of this? How you admit now? You admit that you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempt to take the disc from the defendant. None of this is new information. Order, order, order. Well, Mr. Graydon? It would appear there have been some sort of misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's right simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. There's some sort of crime in taking an item that you own out of the pawn. It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourselves and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish, though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker murder. And now we are just changing subject. Because we could not establish the connection yet, so we are just changing subjects. Okay. There's a note on the disc saying, for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I have absolutely no reason to break into the shop later the same night. So can you tell us which is, since it's your disc, you can tell us which is the correct music box to play the disc on? Did I hear you correctly? McGill, did you say? The famous London philanthropist? Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquainted of a distinctly messy murder. Yes, my lord, the one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon, are you saying that Mrs. McGilden and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. He did not want to say that. Order. Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again. Oh, you are not ready. According to what Gina told us, the disc was placed in the paw on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilden himself gave instruction to deposit at the Windbank. It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him. In all likelihood, he's lying. So, he appeared that afternoon at Windbank in order to get his hand on McGilden's disc for some reason. Counsel, will you please commence your cross-examination, please? There is a note of the disc. Okay, so let's press everything.
Hold it!
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you observe, a communication officer such as myself commands a fine salary. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. So you see, I have a little need to make use of service provided by the pawnbrokery trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse was on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was our overcoat. Obviously, and in my haste, I clearly forgot. The music disc was in its pocket. And yet, there is a note on it that reads from McGilden. I'm a collector of rare and unusual music box music. I first met McGilden at a gentleman club in the city. It was interesting to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. So the disc in question is a pre-produced sample. I promised to lend to McGilden to hear it, but then you forget that it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn. Yes, exactly. Gina didn't mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago. 10:30 p.m. Okay. No, because McGilden will have threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means if we dig too deeply here, it's gonna expose Gina's perjury. Oh dear, this is complicated. Let's leave that alone for the time being. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy guttering on the day of inquest. So you're saying Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right, despite being mindful of dangers when walking the insalubrious area her kind frequents. Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the pawnbrokery the day prepared with all the information needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her, that's what brought you in Windbank. To get your hands on McGilden's disc. Well, your friend is a veritable fount of nonsense. Nonsense! I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you refrain from conjecturing. When the inspector took him away, shouldn't the inspector have taken the note with all the information in the bag that he was holding? Then I will continue with my witness for what possibly use it can be. I proceed at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my art.
Hold it!
Have you ever been at the Windbank before? Only once, for the purpose of pawning something, but like many, I enjoy browsing such establishments. So when you notice that the pickpocket have taken her ticket, you chase after her, is that correct? Yes, that's right, I didn't notice it at first, of course, such is the art of pickpurse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbrokery at once, in order to reclaim my coach before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover what was rightful mine in the first place. He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict. The disc was taken by the police.
Hold it!
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right, this was the very man. Apparently, the police are collecting anything that has a connection to McGilden as evidence.
Excuse me!
Something wrong, Inspector? Well, what do you mean? The last remark by Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. No, it didn't. Nothing. Because Lord Chief Justice said do not talk about anything McGilden in this case. Sorry? May I ask you this, Inspector? Why is Scotland Yard gathering McGilded possessions? I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly. You should know all about that. Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet he have a dark side too. Where are you going with this, Von Zix? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? That's enough. Coppers like me have duty to carry out that we are not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duty is confirmed by Lord Strongheart, I presume. Yep, he fucking knows! The Lord Chief just appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. The bottom line is, if you wanna get something out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart paw print first. What is all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Von Zix here. Very well, it would appear that the Inspector have revealed how he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let's return to your testimony. Gladly, my lord. Go back.
Hold it!
Is that right?
And thanks to the skirmish with the Warsaw as negated the end of my thumb at the same time. Is this in question? Yes, it is. Scotland Yard has indeed gathered items believed to be the property of McGilded, presumably to aid their investigation in some way. Not something I would be aware of. I really didn't know the man well anyway. After all, I'm merely a communication officer with a patent for a music box. And flamboyant poses. In other words, I have absolutely no reason to break into the shop later the same night. Perhaps you have something of a value among the forfeit items? Nope, not at all. Oh. A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelves was common of garden bric-a-brac. In that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover McGilded disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I were to recover the disc, you may recall they have been seized by the police. It was no more in the shop that night than and as I keep saying, I simply have no reason to break. But there was nothing of McGilded left in the shop. Yes, it has. Let him have it. Okay, so that's the one we have to present with the other note that was in the pocket. Present. Is this the right one? Yes.
Objection!
This disc was deposited at Windbank on Magnus McGilded instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself. Conjecture again, and in any case the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witnesses have no reason to visit the pawnbroker again that night. Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true. Oh, calling him the learned friend. What? McGilded have another article in Paul at the Windbank, as this second pawnbroker ticket proves. There are 2 articles belonging to McGilded in the Windbank pawnbrokery, and the reason you broke to the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with our 2 accomplices, the Skulking Brothers. This is the second ticket, is it? What have the men deposit? The article description reads, one small box. A rather vague description, it seems to me. I suggest that I broke into the pawnbrokery with these clowns, started to steal some trinket box. I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article has been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. there would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point. Indeed, the witness make a solid argument. So that means for some reason, the Grade of Felon needed the small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
Time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord. Could you be a little less cryptic, Lord 16? Sorry. I do hate to ruin my learned friend argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windbank pawnbrokery. Rest assured, the prosecution can prove. What? Good gracious. Inspector showed the photograph prints to the court. Finally, of the other photo. From the second camera. You stated using the plan the shopping layout. I don't need to see this. Show me. According to the information on this ticket, small box. 2 days before the incident, 9 p.m. Means would have been the shelf and the forfeit it. 2 hours before the incident, 11 p.m. The victim doesn't have a very full shop, it would appear. And then we have another print of 2 a.m. taking 2 hours after the incident. I see, so we have 2 pictures to compare. Let me spend an unreasonable amount of time comparing them. This was moved. Yep, this was moved. Yeah, okay. What about the other? Nothing. Yeah, okay, so it's just these 2. Dear me, that's starting to make my head ache. Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we consider theft as one possible motive in this case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. Your men have already compared these 2 prints through? Yes, sir. We counted every single item in each of these 2 photograph prints, and the yard concludes that the exact same number are present in both. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbrokery on the night in question. They don't need the box, only the content. And my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful feint. I don't believe it. If I could have just showed him he stole the box, I might have been able to break him down at last. You know what, Runa? I've been thinking. I wonder if 2 photographs are really the same? They're not. What? So, Counsel, in the light of evidence, what is your position? Nothing was stolen. Do you accept? There is... Point out a discrepancy. I wasn't sure, but there is a discrepancy. Please identify.
Take that!
Granted, these 2 prints are almost identical. However, there is one small discrepancy between them. What? If you view like this... A single area stands out of being different, the location of this small box. Let me... wait, unbelievable! By jolly, you're right. How extraordinary. What they said was very simple. My gilded small box was indeed not stolen from Windbank on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelf. I suggested that the small box originally deposited by McGilded is in fact, yes, the very same box I identified in those photographic prints.
Objection!
Mindless guesswork, what if it was? The box was moved, nothing was stolen, which means nothing has changed. That may be true, but The box was stolen. Changes everything because the inside was stolen. I believe this changes everything about the case. How can that possibly be? The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves of Windybank as we speak. That will not be necessary. Some little box belonged to a man who died 2 months ago. Can't possibly be relevant to this trial. The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Zix. Bailiff, arrange for the box. The box is not gonna be there. The box is not gonna be there. Oh, Chief Lord Justice, motherfucker, the box is not gonna be there. Please be there. Perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is being brought forth. To be hoodwinked by such a farce is disappointing. I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zix. This is nothing more than a smokescreen, a Nipponese specialty, it would seem. What are you trying to say? My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning, that this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet, common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing. Exactly! It would be beyond absurd to break in a place for something of such commonplace property. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which was established he was the upstanding member of society, the reputation implied, in fact. So, I propose a toast to my learned friend in his most insightful defense. The article this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box in one of its pockets and a small box. I assure you, I won't accept it, even if the man tried to make a gift of such a thing to me. I do not understand what your dialogue there was implying. No, that does not make a lot of sense. If it's not golden jewels, though goodness knows, my guild was rich enough. You can't possibly deposit cash in a pawnbroker. The prosecution argument is undeniably compelling. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that the disc and the box are in any way tangible related to this case? Well... What's the matter, Bruno? We know they're related. They are both vital pieces of evidence. Yes, of course, you and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character, and we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge McGilded's acquaintance 2 months ago was a mistake. The defense argument was flawed based on false test information. And that would mean admitting Gina committed perjury. But Ginny, could it be that Van Zix knows that why he's doing this? Because he anticipated everything? Including, but not limited to, every single bullshit that has happened in this case yet. Including we using chemicals to identify blood by color. Everything was part of his plan. But maybe this could be a great opportunity for us. Sorry, what do you mean? Oh, what is it that you always said, you know? Sooner or later, the truth comes out every time. Alright, the exact significance of the things that McGill deposited with Mr. Windybank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do? My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. What proposal, Counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of my gilded small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Jenna Lestrand, to the witness stand. The defendant? To what end? To do with the various articles deposited at Winterbank by McGilded, my lord. The Lestrand has information relating to them. I believe it will be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the article in question once and for all. Well, things are becoming interesting. I presume you consider the implication of testimony you are proposing, in particular the impact it will have on the accused standing, and indeed your own. I have. Lord Van Zix, would you care to explain? The prosecution accepts the defense proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself. Very well, if you have no objection. So, the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Ms. Gina Lestrade. Your witness currently in the stand may step down until further notice. Then I shall bid you good day. Wait, you, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Strande testifies. As you wish. Alright, Gina, it's time. I know this will be harder, please. Put your faith in me. Good luck, Runa. We are gonna stop here for today. This is fun. There are things that annoy me, and I think I have talked enough. But in general, I'm enjoying myself in this case. Oh, it's getting late. So, as always, thank you very much for watching today's stream. If you're interested in watching more of my content live, I try to stream on Twitch every day. If you're interested in watching some of my old content, I try to archive everything on my YouTube channel. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you will join me tomorrow. Bye bye!